All right, guys. So here's the deal. Put that away, please. You don't want to read? No, good. Good. Thank you. All right, here's what I want to do. So, based on not just what you've observed. Hi, how's it going? Can you put that away, please? No, that's his camera. I'm being recorded. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm suspect. Where's that word? All right, check my sound. All right. All right. Okay, so based on your the documents we've looked at, the ones you used, can you sit up please, let's see? Thank you. The documents we use to write your essay, okay, as well as the observations you made in the film yesterday, okay? Yeah. Let's note some of the negative impacts, the issues that arise during industrialization. Okay. So what did you guys observe? Let me actually give you guys some time to think about that. And then go ahead and, you know what, discuss with your neighbor about that, okay? So I need you guys to tell each other at least one thing that you've observed from either the film or from the documents that you received, that you used to write your essay. What negative consequences? Let's just focus on the negatives right now, because this is going to take us to what we're going to discuss on Friday, okay? So I need each and every one of you to tell each other one thing. Okay, go. Yes. What do you got? Let's see. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. Are you guys done? Your discussion is over?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll be the first to share then. All right. Since you all are done, Eric. Yeah, but I've decided I'd like to hear what you got to say, Eric. You were always full of good ideas. Well, Eric, we're gonna start now. So, what is something negative that you gathered about industrialization? Yeah, anything that you either observed in the film or from the documents. People live in bad conditions. I like that. I want to call that poor living conditions. You guys should be writing this down in that sheet, the observation sheet. Okay, so we have poor living conditions, okay? What else? Luis, your hand went up. Huh? Your hand went up.
Pollution and child labor.
One at a time.
I mean, you should write it in Cyrus.
Well, yeah, I will, because then I'm gonna ask Betty, and guess what she's gonna say?
Child labor.
Exactly. Different one, other than the three we got up here so far. Alyssa, thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna write that down, but can you explain what do you mean by that?
Like we separated the people in poverty.
Louder. So, division of social classes. As we've discussed so far in this class throughout the year, social classes are based on what? What determines like where you stand socially? What money? Wealth, right? Someone's wealth and resources, right? So Alyssa, you were talking about the division of social classes. What do you mean by that?
Like the rich people were separated into Spanish before, like when we saw in the film how the people in the high social class had like
Oh, okay. So it is clear that there's two groups of people working here, right? There's a higher class and then there's a lower class, right? There's like a let's call it a lower class, right? Yes, right? And it is clear from the movie when you guys saw, like, you could tell which areas in the city were rich and which areas in the cities were more poor, right? But they were all living in the same city and intermingling amongst each other. Division of social classes. So you have this rich and poor, right? Why does this happen? Why do some people get rich and some get really poor? How does industrialization allow for that to happen?
The rich are the ones that own the factories. For the ones.
Okay, so rich people end up being the ones that own not just factories, but they own, what do you need? What are the three things that I told you guys that you need in order to have industry?
Workers.
So labor? Okay. Huh?
like the materials.
Yes, the materials.
Resources.
So, you guys remember that word?
Resources.
Well, there's two types of resources. There's natural resources and then there's, human-made resources, right? Human-made resources resources would be like tools, machines, steel, yes, good, very good, right? Human-made resources and money is called capital, okay? Capital. So the rich own capital. We said labor. Now, it doesn't mean that they own slaves. Well, yeah, it doesn't mean that they own slaves. It just means that they pay they're the ones that have workers that they pay, right? Labor. And then what's the other thing you need? If you have machines and you have money to spend on all the things that you need to make your industry run, you have the workers to work in your machines, but what do you need? Land, right? Land is the space that's going to occupy your factory, okay, and the natural resources like coal and things like that. So the rich are the people not just that own factories, Luis, but these are the people that end up investing and risking their own money for these three, right? And then they become, this is what we call the businessmen, right? Okay, why are the poor poor? Who are these people?
Farmers.
All right, we talked about how they were former farmers in England, right? But in a sense, who are they? Which are the people that kind of become the poor class? Workers.
Hard workers.
Hard workers, not the lazy ones?
No, and
The lazy ones
those don't
get
really
rich.
do any heavy lifting.
Okay, the people that actually do work with their hands and break their backs and get their hands dirty. Okay. So these are the workers, right? Are they not the people that, are they the labor?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the labor, right? Or are they poor?
Because the rich people keep them there. Like,
How?
they give them low wages.
They give them low wages, right? Remember I taught you guys, if you wanna make money, you have to be able to spend as least money as possible, right? Can you control, if you're someone who is a businessman, can you control how much you pay for your machines? Like how much machines cost? You can
Oh,
control
no,
that?
no, no, no.
No, right? You cannot control how much your factory is gonna cost to build. You cannot cost how much the machines that are gonna go in your factories cost, okay? Can you control how much the land is gonna cost you to lease where your factory's gonna be at?
So you can pay for what land you're gonna buy.
Right, but can you control the price of land?
No.
No, that's not up to you, right? You pay what it costs. Can you control how much you spend on labor?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? You decide how much you're gonna pay people, right? So in this case, which is the only price that they can control? Labor. So what do? Low wages, right? Low wages.
What is the separate, I think, like, how they teach their role of against their outfits?
Say that again?
Could we use like the low wages? So you know how they changed the law? Well, they made a law.
Well, eventually, which is what we're gonna get to Friday, and I'm gonna give you just a sort of transition assignment today that's gonna lead to this reaction, where people do fight for laws that change a lot of these things, okay? Before that though, is there anything else we need to add from this list? We got poor living conditions, we've got pollution, we've got child labor, we've got division of social classes. What else? Maybe something that a lot of these were highlighted in the documents that you guys saw and analyzed last week. What about from the film? We're missing some stuff.
Orphans.
Okay, is Luis the only one that's in class today?
No.
Not Eric, actually you too. Sure. Okay. What are the young boys doing? How do they survive?
Stealing.
Okay, so what do we call that?
Thieves.
Theft? Theft? Crime?
Yeah.
Robbers, stealers.
Theft and crime? Oh, gosh. Alright, now why does theft and crime happen?
Because that's all they can do. That's all they can do is run.
The guy from
Okay, let's pull now away from the movie. Let's have this conversation, you and I. Okay? So who's usually like who commits theft? And why is that? Okay, because they have very little, right? And they do it as a means to survive usually, right? And they steal from usually people that do have a lot, right? So there is theft because there's also poverty. Alright, there's this condition of, did I write that already? No, right? Well, that kind of ties in with this poor class, right? But there's poverty, right? In many cases. Okay, so here's what your transition activity is going to be today, or your assignment today. You are going to write a letter. So I won't bring out a clean sheet of paper. Okay, this is going to transition. This is basically going to introduce to some stuff that we're going to discuss and look at on Friday. Okay? Not yet, because I need to explain what you're doing. So here we go. Here's what's going to happen. Okay? Give you guys a few seconds. Put your name on top here. Put your name on top of the page, please. Okay. We've discussed in the past how this stuff happens pretty much rapidly, really quickly. Okay, after first England begins to industrialize, and then we see a lot of this in the United States as well, once the United States begins to industrialize, okay? There's poor living conditions. What do we mean by poor living conditions? Let's define this a little bit. Who said, Eric, you said this one, right?
No.
Yes, you did.
Dirt roads.
Dirt roads, what else?
Bad sewer.
Or how about no sewer? No sewer, so that means how do the streets look?
Dirty field.
What they got? Filth, trash,
Rats.
right? Because let's say, yes sir, rats, right? Dead animals maybe, right? On the street. No, for real. I mean, think about it. In today's society, right? When you got roadkill on the street, like, isn't there services in a city that like isn't that are in charge of cleaning all that up?
Yeah.
Okay. When I go home, I don't have a large pile of garbage in my backyard. That is because the city, each city is organized, okay, and has trash cleaning services, right? So that once a week, there's a garbage truck that passes by my house and picks up trash, right? These things, these simple things, why, oh my God. You forgot to take out the, you are in trouble. You are, no,
My mom said that in the morning.
you forgot.
I just had to be happy.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, as I said, we're all gonna pray for you, make sure that hopefully you don't get grounded, okay? Anyway, these things didn't exist immediately after cities grew, okay? Because this was such a big, rapid change that the society had to take some time to adjust and adapt to these new changes, okay? Same thing with all of this, okay? So this stuff happened pretty rapidly, okay? There is going to be a reaction to this to try to fix a lot of this stuff, okay? Coming from society, and that is what we're going to discuss on Friday, okay? So what I want you all to do right now for the remainder of class is you are going to write a letter, okay? You are going to put yourselves, you are going to take yourselves spiritually, mentally, okay, and you are going to go back 200 years, okay? No, not Assassin's Creed, okay? Yes, I know, that's what happens in Assassin's Creed, I don't care, okay? What you're gonna do is, you're gonna place yourself in just a city just like the one you saw in the film, okay? You are gonna pick one of these issues, okay? Nayeli, how many are you picking?
3. 2.
One.
Nice.
Jesus. You're gonna pick one of these issues, okay, that is dear to your heart, okay? You are going to be a person experiencing this, and you are going to write a letter, okay? You are going to write a letter to the British Parliament. You're going to write a letter to the British Parliament. The British Parliament would be the governing body in England that makes laws. Okay? So what do you think you're going to be writing this letter? What are you going to be including in this letter? No. Are you writing laws? What? So you're going to be expressing, first of all, your dissatisfaction, okay, your anger, your sadness. Yes, whatever issue you choose, okay, you are going to be expressing your dissatisfaction. Okay? So you're going to explain who you are. Okay? Dear British Parliament, although you might not want to say dear because you're not really happy with them at the moment, right? Where, meaning you're going to describe your environment and where you live. Okay? You're going to, what? What is the issue that you are angry about? Okay? And what do you want done about it? Okay?
Why?
Well, yes, why?
I thought we don't know that.
You're going to make a suggestion. You're going to justify that suggestion in your letter, right? You're doing this in the first person, though. You are this person that is writing this letter to the British government about one of these issues. Okay? You're explaining who you are, so you are you going to be a child?